All right, let's talk about a huge but super common security hole inside Active Directory. Seriously, it's like leaving a treasure map sitting on the front desk, pointing attackers right to the crown jewels of your network.
Okay, so picture this. An attacker gets in, right? Maybe a simple phishing email gets one of your users to click a bad link. That's just them getting a foot in the door. They're in the hallway, but they have no idea where to go. Their real work starts now. They have to snoop around, map out the place, and figure out where all the important stuff is. That's the recon phase, and it's where the real damage is planned.
So, let's just put on our black hat for a second. You've just broken in, you've got access, but it's a low-level, nobody account. You're basically blind. What is the very first thing you're going to do? You need a map, right?
And that brings us to the crazy part. See, attackers don't have to stumble around in the dark. They have some incredibly powerful tools that can basically just ask Active Directory for a guided tour of its own weaknesses.
And the rock star of these tools is called Bloodhound. It's free, it's open source, and it uses some fancy math to instantly show how every single user, computer, and group in your network is connected. To put it simply, it's like Google Maps for hacking your Active Directory.
And just look at this. This is what the attacker sees. It's not some complicated screen full of code. It's a literal map. They can run one simple query, something like, hey, what's the fastest way to become a domain admin? And bam! Bloodhound just draws them a beautiful, easy-to-follow path from their low-level account straight to your keys to the kingdom. It is just devastatingly simple and effective.
But hold on a second. Microsoft knows these admin accounts are the prime targets, right? Of course they do. And Active Directory actually has a built-in protection system, though it's a bit of a hidden gem, designed specifically to guard these VIP accounts.
So this whole system is built around a special object called the AdminSDHolder. The easiest way to think about it is like a master key or a blueprint for security. Its only job is to hold a super strict set of permissions that are meant to be stamped onto all your important accounts to lock them down.
And this blueprint is enforced by an automated security guard called SDPROP. Every 60 minutes, like clockwork, this process wakes up and scans your directory for anyone in a privileged group. It looks at their security settings and compares them to that master template on the AdminSDHolder. If anything looks off, maybe someone accidentally gave a help desk account permission to change a domain admin's password, SDPROP just erases it and stamps the correct secure template back on. It then flags the account with something called an admin count of 1 just to mark it as being under protection.
So this all sounds pretty good, right? We have an automated guard constantly making its rounds and fixing permissions. What could possibly go wrong? Well, here's the twist. The system that's supposed to be protecting you has a massive flaw.
And this right here is the smoking gun. These are the default permissions on that AdminSDHolder object itself. And do you see that? Authenticated users. They have read access. You know who falls under authenticated users? Literally any account that can successfully log in. That includes the low-level user account the attacker just took over.
So, what does this mean? It means the attacker can read the security template and see every single account that's being protected by it. They're essentially being handed a neatly printed list of all the most powerful, high-value targets in the entire network. The protection system is literally broadcasting the location of the treasure.
Okay, that sounds really, really bad. But here is the fantastic news. Fixing this isn't some huge, complicated project. It's actually one simple, but incredibly powerful change.
All you have to do is go to that AdminSDHolder object and remove those two default groups from its permissions list, authenticated users, and that pre-Windows 2001. That's it. It's that simple. By doing this, you're basically snatching that treasure map right out of the attacker's hands.
And you can see the difference right here. On the left, that's the before state. The door is wide open for any authenticated user to peek inside. And on the right, after, those permissions are gone. Now that attacker's compromised account can't see anything. We've effectively put blinders on them.
And here's the beautiful result. Remember that Bloodhound map from the beginning? On the left, there's that clear, easy path to total control. But on the right, after we make that one tiny permissions change, the exact same Bloodhound query returns nothing. 0. The path is gone. We've just blinded the attacker's best tool.
And you can actually measure the impact. We ran a scan with another security tool called Purple Knight. Before the fix, it found 29 different ways an attacker could see our weaknesses. After the fix, that number dropped to 18. Just like that, 11 critical vulnerabilities are now completely invisible to a low-level attacker. That's a huge win. So, we've hidden the map, we've blinded their tools, awesome. But we're not quite done. There's one last cleanup step to take care of some lingering risks.
So here's the thing. Let's say you once made a user a domain admin for like 5 minutes to fix something urgent. Well, that SDPROP security guard would have stamped them with those protective permissions and flagged them with admin count equals 1. But when you take them out of the domain admins group, those settings don't automatically go away. So you can end up with old, regular user accounts that have these weird restricted permissions that can cause all sorts of problems down the line.
The cleanup is pretty straightforward, though. You basically find everyone who's currently flagged as an admin, you clear that flag for all of them, and then you tell the SDPROP process to run again. The accounts that are supposed to be privileged will get reflagged automatically. The ones that don't, those are your leftovers, and those are the accounts you need to go in and manually fix their permissions.
So, there you have it. With one simple change, you can hide the treasure map and make an attacker's job incredibly difficult. But it does leave us with one final thought, doesn't it? Hiding the map is a fantastic, powerful first step. But security is never really done. So the real question is, what other keys to the kingdom might still be lying around for someone to find?